You guys wanna see it? You guys wanna see it real quick? Dude, we got a text.
That's my rival's guy.
The day of,
on the win flats.
and they said, prepare a speech if you're nominated. And they said specifically, don't mention how heavy it is. Bro, this thing's like a stone. Listen to this. I'm dropping it from an inch. Bro, this thing is like 10 pounds. I could literally knock someone the out with this thing. Camera, you're failing me. That's my fingies. Another one for the case behind us. Yo, did you guys see my tweet yesterday? I met Guang Guang's boss. Did you guys know that? Did you see it? Bro, I met the guy above Guang Guang. Danny, the actual maker of Marvel Rivals, the creator of Luna Snow. And you know where I met him? Outside of a random restaurant in a random mall in LA. Completely unscripted. You know what the funniest thing is? I'm gonna leak it. Poor Boger. Hopefully he doesn't get too much shit for it. We saw him, and Boger was like looking at him, but like the way he told me, he was like, is that him? But he didn't want to like be racist and be like, it's just some random like Asian looking guy. It looks like another guy, because he was like, no, there's no chance. Like he's in China. There's literally 0% chance. And then like he like leans in. He goes, oh my. He suddenly, I'm like, what? He goes, I think that's. And like I looked a little over, and I'm like, wait, it is. And he walked up to him and he was like, hello. And he's like, oh, Boger. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, so he was like getting lunch with his family at this like hot pot place. By the way, yo, hang on, I ain't gonna lie. It's like some like chain Chinese hot pot place. And I hope this doesn't get me in trouble with the great Rivals gods. That place was dog shit. It was, I actually, unironically, I'm not kidding. I got recommended to go there by my agent who I went to meet with. I hadn't met them before. They were my new agent from like last year. I never got a chance to talk to them before. They do like all my sponsor stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, you should go to this place. It's really good. I'm not joking. We ordered like $100 of meat, because like you just order like the big platter, because there was a bunch of us, right? There's a few of us that went. And I ate like 4 pieces. I tried different sauces. I tried all the different meats. I tried everything I could. It was horrendous. It was the worst hot pot I'd ever had, to the point where I turned to Shay and I said, am I a bad person if I just don't eat any of this and we just leave and go somewhere else? Like we'll pay for it, obviously, but like, I was like, I don't even want to eat. I don't even want to eat this. It's legitimately like horrendous. Well, it's a Chinese chain. So like there's only like a couple in the US. Because it was like a specialty restaurant, apparently it's really good in China too. It was like, okay, like this place is gonna be pretty good, right? So we just ate like a little bit, went back to the hotel, waited for it, and then we went and got a Korean barbecue at night. It was fire. Where do I even start? I'll start with this. I actually did my best to record some stuff. So there will be like a travel vlog. There's gonna be like a mini travel vlog, right? It's not gonna be very good. It's gonna be ass. But I gave it my best shot.
And some streamers get awards. However, production for the show was kinda awful and some of the cringe.
So, you know what's very interesting? By the way, production was horrible, like legitimately awful. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because like I think some streamers were like not sitting in the correct chairs and like getting up and moving a lot and stuff like that, but not really at the same time. Like production genuinely, I think like should give their money back. Like that was such a bad, like they should settle. Like whatever if they paid like, let's say $1 million for the event, they should give back like 500K or more. Like the production company should eat some of that, because that was genuinely horrendous. You know, it's very strange though, because in person, a lot of things didn't look as bad as they did online, other than like the jokes. Like the jokes is like the only thing I was like, okay. But like the production was bad, but like, oh my God, it was 10 times worse online. Like we can see the screen, but not like everything though that was shown on live. Like we could just see like a lot of the in-house stuff. Like we never saw, like, did you guys see that there was like an interviews that they did with winners, like in a different area? I never saw that. I didn't even know that was a live thing. I thought it was like a recorded bit for later. Oh, they did post it after? Because they said back to you, cutie. And I was like, oh, oh, okay. Like at the end, I was like, whoa, was that a live thing? I didn't even realize, because they take you in like the depths of the basement. By the way, had to go down like 9,000 stairs of doom and then back up 9,000 stairs of doom. I was dying. I'm like, okay, this is ass. But yeah, I don't know. I was glad I went. I had a lot more fun this time than I had the previous one. Someone said W exercise. Dude, nobody wants to be doing exercise in a suit, brother. I do not wear suits. I do not like suits. It is not a good time. Someone was mean to SK. Okay, we actually think we solved it, but we don't think we want to make. I think the drama was just like too much, and just like everyone wants us to let it go because like we're not 100% sure. But we actually, you know what? I'm gonna fuck it. This is probably gonna get blown up somewhere, but we think we might have solved it of what happened. We actually think we know what it was. Fan was going around to like tables and stuff, and Fan and Boger are like kind of friends. And so she would come over to our table sometimes to sit down to like catch her breath between like other things. During that bit where Cutie said to Ron, like, name 5 women challenge, Boger did it too. And I think it got hot mic'd because he said SK as the second name. So he was like, when he was naming out, he said, oh, Fan, SK, and then he was going other, like he did 5 names. And we think that it hot mic'd to Boger. Like that was our theory. And he kind of thinks it was him too, but like he's not 100% sure. But it was just like what, like it was spiraling so far out of control. It's just like, I think SK said something about it, was like, just leave it alone. Like it's not like that. And then just like let it go. Because there was so many weird hot mic moments. Like that's what, like if anything, that's where the production failed the most, is like they were hot mic'd all over the place. I think Cutie got caught a bunch of times, like randomly hot mic'd, like sitting down at tables or like taking a minute to like breathe and stuff like that. Because like if you think about it logically, SK is one of my good friends. SK is not a massive streamer. Like, what are the chances that the FaZe guys know SK from Overwatch rivals in like fighting games? And even more than that, what's the chances that they're so specifically gonna say not this person? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't even make sense. But like, I think everyone just gets whipped into a frenzy and wants to get angry. I will say though, I had a lot more fun this time. I had such a more decent time than my previous one. It was kind of like a shell shock. Do you guys remember? So a lot of you guys are newer, right? Like a lot of Rivals people especially are newer. But if you were here like 3 years ago, right? Do you remember I told you guys the story of how it went the first time? And I told you I was glad I went, but I didn't really have fun. I can say that this time was very different. Something I didn't really like talk about that much the last time was I was unknown, right? Like I had just blown up with Overwatch 2, and Overwatch 2 wasn't really that big of a game in comparison to other games. And I got nominated for like FPS streamer in the year. I'm actually, you know what's funny? I was actually very similarly in like Aspen's position. So like, we actually talked a lot after, because I don't know if she had much fun. I was trying to make the after party / area like a little bit better for her, because I don't know if she had like the greatest time, but I think she was glad she went. But I understood it, right? Like I understood her position like probably as better than almost anyone could, as like someone who's like grown a lot, but like is like in a niche space, right? When I went years ago, I remember when like my name got called for FPS streamer of the year, right? I'm not joking. The entire venue was silent. Like no, like woo claps or nothing. Dead silent. I was like, oh, that one was like a little kick in the dick at the time. I was like, damn, that sucks a little bit. This time was not like that at all. This time it was loud. Like there was a lot of people that were like, we like that guy / know that guy. So like that in that moment, it was like, what the but I didn't have time to think about that because I ended up going up on stage. The other thing too, though, was I got recognized by so many big people, like massive streamers that like you would never think, right? Like I remember literally like walking into the venue and someone told me that like Ludwig had tweeted at me earlier in the day. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I went and looked at my Twitter. I'm like, what the He responded to my like, I'll show you. He responded to my like 900K tweet because I was talking about how YouTube hit 900K. And we're like really close to 1 million. And I was like, win or lose today, like another big milestone. Appreciate you guys so much. And he was like, small brother, you're flats. I'm like, what the So I was already a little bit of in a confused spot in that department. But dude, there were so many. There was actually so many. You know, I gotta say, admittedly, I don't know all of them super well. The AMP guys gotta be some of the coolest people I've ever met. Those guys are so respectful, so nice. Like, at the end, like we were trying to get some pictures on the stage, and like pretty much all the AMP crew, except like Kai and maybe like a couple others walked by. They all stopped. They were all like, oh, love your content. Congrats, congrats, congrats. And I was just like, you know, like not many people do that. Like even especially like the bigger groups, like that group, they're like, they're very, very nice people. And admittedly, I didn't even know. Like I knew some of them. Like I knew like Agent. I don't know if that was streamed or not. He came up to me, but he had a camera. I don't know if it was a recorded thing or what. And he was like, yeah, like I know, like he's like, yeah, you do the like obviously you do the rival stuff, but like you used to do Overwatch stuff too. I'm like, yeah. And he was like, just really nice. And I was like, yeah, actually, like I've seen a lot of your stuff too. He's like, I've never talked to you, but we're both in the bathroom. And I was like, oh shit, that's Agent. I was gonna say hi, but you don't say hi in the bathroom. That's weird. And he just started dying. He was like, yeah, we don't do that. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. Like that's why I didn't say anything. So I walked out. And then I was like, if you catch up to me, I was gonna say something. But then you ran by me, and I was like, I ain't sprinting up the stairs. The f this look like? I'm not here for exercise. Shh. But yeah, I met a lot of cool people. I met Ludwig later. I was like, how long have you known me? And then he was like, oh, I've known you ever since you flamed me in Overwatch. I was like, when did I flame you in Overwatch? Refresh my memory. He was like, you know what? Actually, I don't think you did. Actually, I talked about never wanting to play Overwatch ever again. And then you said I was smart for that. And I was like, that sounds like prime 2023 flats right there. That 100% sounds like 2023 flats right there. So yeah, but I'm be honest with you though. I want to talk about this event very positively because everyone's been super negative. But if I had to give you my honest truth in this moment, I'm very happy I went. I'm very, very happy I went, but I probably would never go again. Unless it was like for Variety Streamer of the Year or something like that. And there's a lot of reasons. I think the number one is it's very clear that it's no longer about gaming as much anymore. A lot of people talked about like how the Rivals category was like a sponsored category. If you go back like a couple of years ago, there's a bunch of sponsored categories. Like Fortnite used to do it, Valorant used to do it, right? And now like there was like, I remember there was one year, I think the year I went, it was like there was like CSGO Streamer of the Year, Valorant Streamer of the Year, Fortnite Streamer of the Year, Battle Royale Streamer of the Year, right? There was like a bunch of them, and like there was not many gaming categories, and they were all smushed together really hard. And never mind like the drama and like the clip farming and stuff. And listen, I'm genuinely not like an attention seeking person, right? You guys know this. Like I will, even with drama, I try to stay out of drama unless I like cannot stand it, right? Like obviously you give examples from this past year, right? Like things that I'm like, okay, I think this is something that's spiraling out of control. Whether it's like Overwatch versus Rivals bullshit, right? Toxicity in the community, people in the community, right? Unless it's like certain like things and I'm like, nah, this needs like a little like outside wisdom of like we need to shut this shit the f down, right? Everyone goes in and just hardcore clip farms, right? Everyone's just clip farming the entire time because they want their attention. And I realized at the end that it was like, you know, it's basically just an attention seeking competition. And I understand that's kind of like what streaming is everyone wants attention. But do you notice how like none of the good clips go viral, right? Like I'm not even trying to talk about myself here. I felt like I had there was like me and like a couple others that I thought like had really good speeches, really good like acceptances. Those didn't really go viral. Nobody really watched them. Nobody really cared. It's all the bullshit ones, like the really like the bad jokes, the going up on stage, the yellings from the crowd, right? Like nobody cares about the positives. They only care about the negatives. And it's unfortunately just kind of how it is. The other part of that is just like, it's also still kind of run like an old 2020, 2021 Twitch show, unfortunately. And like the culture's changed, right? Like back in the day, I would say like I wasn't involved, right? I was like an outsider, but the way it always looked was like everyone was like sort of friends. Like most streamers were sort of friends, especially like the big streamers. And they're really not anymore. Everyone's like in their own little categories. So like if I'm shooting the shit with somebody, right? Like I'm sitting at the lunch table, right? Or something. And like my buddy says some shit and makes some joke about me. Like, yeah, it's a little embarrassing and it's a little annoying in the moment, but like, you know that guy cares about you. He's like, it's just jokes. But when people are making jokes that like, you don't even know them, it's just like random shit talking, right? It's like, I don't know. It was that's what kind of I think turned it off for a lot of people because you're not friends. You don't know them. And so it's different now. And so it's like you kind of have to recognize that and adapt. And I don't think that's what really happened. That said, I personally had a few moments where I was kind of like, like for example, all the nominees are supposed to get like red carpet time, right? You're supposed to get like an interview. Like that's one of the big things is like you get a red carpet interview because you're nominated for an award. Me, SK, and Bogart got like kicked because like they were like, yeah, we're behind. Sorry. Like you're just gonna move on from you. And then somebody like a bigger, like another streamer walked like right around us and just went up and they just did the interview. And I was like, okay, all right, fair enough, I guess. I don't know. I think that if I hadn't won, I would have definitely felt a little bit more jaded. Cause, and if I was in like Bogart's position, I feel like I would have felt jaded because you spend all this money to go and to be at the event, and then you kind of just get like kind of kicked to the side a little because like obviously you're not like big 20,000 viewer streamer or one of the big IRL streamers. That sounds like production issues. It's production, but it's also whoever's managing that part of the event, right? So it's a management issue, whether it's on production or whoever's managing that section. Obviously, I ended up winning, so like I got to have my moment in the spotlight. So like I'm obviously super appreciative of that, but like, you know, Bogart and SK I think is good examples where you spend all this money and you go and they don't even get a red carpet interview. Which is like one of the big things of going, you know? I don't know. There was a lot that I think could be talked about there, but I think there's been enough bullshit that's come out of it. But I personally probably wouldn't go again though, just because, unless it was something for like a very different reason, like variety or something like that, I would maybe consider going. But I did meet a lot of cool people, which was very nice. They did do an interview with Stable Ronaldo, but Stable Ronaldo's was his own stream downstairs. That wasn't part of like Streamer Awards stream, right? Like how that was his own stream, I believe, because there's like a couple TikTokers, TMZ, and I don't know what there was like the drag queen section, but I don't know if they were streaming or if that was like a recorded bit. I'm not sure. Did you talk to Puffer? Yeah, I did talk to Puffer. Puffer's cool, dude. Puffer's like same height as me, bro. That guy's huge. But hey, cool dude. And you know what's funny? He was telling me beforehand, he's like, I don't want this. I don't want this at all. And I was like, what do you mean? Like he's like, I told him, I was like, honestly, I didn't know who you were. I genuinely didn't know who you were until you were nominated. And then I looked and I saw you had good content. And he was like, no, I know, like, but like, this isn't like my main game. He's like, I'm a variety streamer. Like, I feel like he kind of feel like he didn't want to like cause issues, you know, like he kind of saw what was happening to Super maybe and was like, no, like I'm not really like a rival streamer. And I was like, no, you make really good content. And me and Bogart were like, actually, we think you're the dark horse to win. It was, yeah, we didn't know if it was gonna be Super or him. That was our guess. Me and Bogart both thought it was gonna be Super or him. Super thought it was gonna be Tim. And I was like, nah, there's no way Tim wins it. I don't think Tim even talked about it. Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. So, but I probably wouldn't go again. TBH. I am super appreciative, like genuinely super appreciative. Like I never thought I'd have another opportunity to go, and I had 10 times more fun than I did last time. I genuinely had like 10 times more fun than I did last time. Can we see the word? I'll show you one more time. Yeah, I had actually such a better time than the previous one, but like you can just kind of see that it's not like gaming focused anymore, and it's a lot of money. Like if I told you guys how much I spent on this weekend, you'd probably shit your pants, right? Because there was a few things that went wrong, like Shay's dress. So what happened with this is actually going to be all in the vlog, but I'll spoiler it now. Shay got her dress like 3 weeks ago, and was supposed to be tailored to pick up last Sunday. She went to pick it up on Wednesday, and they didn't have it. They couldn't find it. And we're like, hello? They found it. It wasn't done. They didn't even do anything. So they were like, oh, like we'll do it right now, and we'll send it, like you can come pick it up tonight. It was like, that'd be like 8 o'clock in Boston. We're like, and she was like, it's like noon. She's like, I can't sit here all day. And they're like, okay, we'll overnight it to your house then. Sounds good. So Thursday comes around, we're sitting around the house waiting. And so she calls eventually, and they're like, yeah, what are you talking about? We don't do that. She's like, you guys told me you'd ship it to me overnight. And like, oh, you need to fill out this form with Clubhouse or something. So she called like the salesperson who helped her, or texted her, and they were like, oh my God, this shouldn't have happened, blah, 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 blah. Like, I would always take care of you. I can't believe they did this. And so then they said they were going to overnight it to the hotel. So they were overnighted it to the hotel, and then the hotel rejected the package. So she had no dress Saturday morning. So we had to take an Uber to like the store and go dress shopping in LA, which by the way is not cheap. Luckily we got the dress that was on sale, but Jesus Christ, we're talking like we're talking like on sale was like $700 as opposed to like $4 grand for this dress, because like it has to fit her, right? Like it has to fit her well, and she's short. And if you know shopping as a shorter woman, that can not be fun sometimes. Yeah, so we spent a lot of money on this trip to go. And it's like, if I hadn't won, like, yeah, I would have met probably some cool people, but I would have probably felt a little slighted, I think. Or I would have. I don't, but I probably would have. So yeah, this would probably be my last one, you know. But I'm glad I went, and I'm glad you guys supported me so much, because without you guys, I don't think we could have done it. I really don't think we could have done it. What else? I cover a lot of stuff in the vlog, and we'll go over that. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to say thanks to you guys. Thanks for sending me out there, because without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But also, you know, it gave me an experience that I've never got to have. And the way I basically looked at the first one, yo, Squilly Squill, thank you, the big 5 gifted. Appreciate you, dude. The first event, I was kind of like a coat hanger in the corner that no one noticed. This time, I was the coat hanger that everyone wanted to hang their coats on. You know, like everyone knew me. I was like the well-known coat hanger, which was nice. You know, so that was kind of a big moment. So I mean, I appreciate you guys a ton. I just want to say thanks for that.